Hey everybody, welcome back to our Petzey chat where we sit down with a vet professional on the Petzey network to discuss lots of different pet health and wellness topics. So today we are back with Amanda. She is a licensed veterinary technician on the Petzey network, and she's here to answer your questions about pet food and nutrition. Welcome back, Amanda. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.
Now, we've all had those small questions we're a little bit embarrassed to ask our vet. Instead, you can use the Petzey app to talk or video chat with a licensed vet professional so you can get your pet health questions answered in minutes, no matter how small they are. So check us out on the Apple and Google Play stores and learn more at Petzey.com. Today, we asked our Instagram followers to submit any of those small questions they had about pet nutrition. And Amanda here is going to answer a few of those questions. So, Amanda, are you ready?
I am ready.
Awesome. So, we're going to start with a question from Cameron. He's from San Diego, and he asks, one of my dogs is a total couch potato, and my other dog has a ton of energy. Do I need to change their diets based on their activity level?
What a wonderful question. Yes, it is super important to have two different tailored diets for your pet. Your couch potato does not need as many calories to maintain a healthy weight as your athletic pup. This is also why it is important, in my opinion, to feed meals to your pets, especially when you have a multi-pet household. If you have one animal that needs more and another that needs a completely different diet due to disease or life stage or activity level, you can easily monitor what your pets are eating. There are many good quality diets out there from reputable companies that have tailored diets especially for those challenges. From feeding a pet with diabetes or one that is running 5 miles a day with you, the nutrition plays such an integral part of their overall health and well-being.
That's really good to know. Awesome. So our next question comes from Bryn. She's from Minneapolis, and she's asking about wet and dry food. So she asks, do I have to feed my pet wet food and hard food?
That's a good question too. You can. There's no hard, fast rule about what formulation you have to feed your pet. I like to tailor it more to a particular pet size and their lifestyle. Some, just like people, love a good crunch, and others will turn their nose completely to the kibble. I think smaller breeds do well on a small bite kibble and maybe a few tablespoons of wet. Um, some that are so tiny that even the tiny small bites are too much, they may be just fine on a completely wet diet. Dogs that chow down really, really fast and have a tendency to choke, I like to recommend a larger kibble wet down with some warm water in one of those maze bowls. So as you can see, it just completely depends on your pet. Both of the variants of food are healthy for your pup as long as you're feeding quality and the right quantity. You might be surprised to know that you have to feed quite a bit of straight wet food to meet those nutritional requirements in total. I personally love to feed both. I feed a high quality kibble mixed with a little bit of the wet, and I just make sure that it's proportioned correctly with the two based on my pet size and what their life stage is.
Awesome. So now we're going to dabble a little bit in pet weight because our next question is coming from Sean from Seattle. And he says, I'm worried my cat is getting a little bit chubby. What are some good low calorie treats I can add to my cat's food?
That's a really good question. And weight loss in cats is really difficult. And we, as vet professionals, always recommend the prevention before it gets out of hand. So it's good that Sean notices that his cat is already, his body condition is already changing. I always recommend a prescription diet for these cats, the prescription diet that's formulated for weight loss. And I almost always recommend a straight wet formulation. As far as the treat aspect of that, I use the kibble formulation of that same weight loss diet. So once you have a calculated amount from your vet to feed, you can use the daily amount of kibble to use as treats during the day. I like to spread it down the hall or a couple down the stairs as I interact with my cat. I have a chubby cat too, just to um, change things up and get my cat moving. So I know it's really fun to give our pets treats, but that moderation is really key. And they're just as happy with their own food as treats as they can be with something that's actually packaged as a cat treat. So um, the kibble and all of that put together can be invaluable tools to help with the weight loss.
Great. Thanks for answering that.
Mm-hmm.
So, our next question comes from Christina from LA. And we actually got a couple of submissions about this. So, it's a great question to ask. Can pets get bored of their food and treats?
That is a really good question, a difficult question. So, in my opinion, we as humans associate food as comfort and joy. I love to go out to dinner on a Friday night, and who doesn't love to sit on the couch and have a bowl of ice cream?
Hmm.
Food is love. I tend to believe that we project these feelings on our pets, and in the beginning, for lack of a better term, can spoil them. That being said, I do love to spoil my pets. You just have to be a little bit careful. It's the choices that we make for our pets that make a difference. I don't believe that they get real bored with their food and treats. I think if we are consistent with them and giving the healthy choices and stop sharing the ice cream and the steak, they won't develop the habits of begging and turning up their snouts to food, their regular food on a regular basis. I think owners tend to worry if their pups don't want to eat their food, but at the same time, the same dog will happily chomp down 10 milk bones in a day. So, as harsh as this may sound, I really can't stress enough the importance of good nutrition for your pets and to keep them at that ideal weight. And that way, it keeps them moving pain free for many years, it extends their lifespan. It's far too common in practice to see morbidly obese animals come into the office and their feeding is just so poor that they won't touch any type of food because they want that steak and the things off your plate.
Mm, absolutely. Well, this is a good segue into our final question. As you mentioned, some pets can definitely turn up their nose to certain foods. Kara from Dallas has this issue. So she asks, my dog is a super picky eater. How can I make sure he's getting the nutrition that he needs?
It's a really good question, a very common question. I would like to know how picky is picky. Do you worry because your pup won't finish the bowl of food at the same time or at any given meal time, or eat well one day and not so well the other? Some dogs are not food driven at all, and that's okay. But as long as their health status is in good condition and regularly seen by your veterinarian, and no problems are found, I tend to not worry too much about these dogs. Quality diet is key. I would choose one or two formulations of a good nutritionally dense diet, wet and dry, for example, and find out what makes your pup comfortable and that they like. As long as their weight is healthy, it's okay if they don't finish their meals every day. They can be picky that way. You want the calories they take in to be the best nutritionally. So you have to fight that urge to throw everything from your plate at them. That's where those bad habits develop. Dogs will not starve themselves. Not cats kind of will, but dogs will not. So if your pup hasn't eaten anything in 2 to 3 days, that is when I would worry and consult with your vet professional. But otherwise, being slightly picky isn't so bad as long as the rest of the health of your pet is good.
Awesome. Well, that concludes our quick viewer Q&A. Amanda, thank you so much for taking the time to answer our viewers' questions.
You're very welcome. I'm very excited to help pets out.
Awesome. So, for all of you pet parents out there, be sure to follow us on social media. We are at Petzey app, and there you will get a lot more helpful pet wellness tips, just like Amanda provided today. And if you have any specific questions in regards to your pet's nutrition, download the Petzey app today so you can talk or video chat with a licensed vet professional right away so you get some peace of mind. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and happy tails.